So y'all, peace and love, butterflies. So I was sitting here writing 5 things I'm proud of myself for and celebrating myself for. And I was on number 2 and it encouraged me to come on here and share something with you all. So what I wrote was, like the last part of it was, I'm so proud of myself for really beginning to, or ... Let me not say beginning, because I really got to put respect on my name, continuing to perfect my craft. So that's something I wrote. And the reason I wrote that is because like I've been in a space of taking my career to a quote unquote new level. And I say quote unquote because this level is new. And like I said in the passage or the paragraph or the sentence, is not, it is a new beginning, but it's something, what I'm doing now is what I've always seen. Who I'm becoming is who I've always been. It just was a little, the picture was a little disembodied, and like the passion behind it was a little disconnected. But I've always been this person. I've always been this passionate, intelligent, strong person. I just wasn't seeing it. But who I am in this moment is not somebody new. Who I am is not somebody that just like came out of nowhere. She very much so always been here, very much so has been like existing within me. You know what I'm saying? She's just remembering herself and getting back to her voice and getting back to herself for real. Like, and that's even more correct to say, because it's just like I'm just getting back to myself. I'm getting back to who I've always been. And not to say those other parts of me aren't me, because they are. And like those parts of my story weren't real or something, because of course they were. But, and when I was in those moments and whoever I was being and the decisions I was making were reflections of who I was in those moments. But who I'm becoming and remembering and creating in a way now, is somebody who is a spirit that was always there. A love that was always there, a passion that was always there. And when it comes to my career, it's like I've always been doing this. Like I've always been doing it, no matter how it looked, no matter if it looked like if it looked perfect or it looked flawed or it looked half-assed or it looked 150%, 250, 1,000%, like however it looked in my career at whatever point, it was still great. I was still great. I was still me. And I think that because of this shift in my mind, who I'm becoming feels better than who I was. But it's like, nah, like, because she was strong enough to get through that. So I can't even say I'm better in that kind of way, like in this moment in my life, because of course, like in a literal sense, I am. But like, I can't even say it like that because she got me here. Like she got me here, and I'll forever respect those versions of myself and give gratitude to those versions of myself, because I wouldn't be who I am right now without them. And I got to put respect on my own name. Like I've been doing, as far as music, like, what I'm saying? I've been doing music for years. And, to go back to the point of even if it felt half-assed or whatever, it's like, even if I wasn't rehearsing, and I wasn't practicing and I was just showing up on these stages kind of like giving half-assed work because I wasn't rehearsing or I wasn't putting my music out there, like I was just stalling or, whatever the case may be, like all of the things that you go through in a career and in life. It's like, however I was showing up, it's like I was still showing up. Like, and it's so crazy because as I'm talking about it, I keep losing my train of thought because I can feel that I'm reprogramming myself. Like, and I feel like whenever I start reprogramming different, I've been calling them chips and programming and shit, but like every time I start reprogramming, like ejecting chips that have been causing disharmonious energy or like have been programming me to be outside of my godliness, whenever I start reprogramming myself or touching on something like a code that could possibly start reprogramming and make that chip eject, I sometimes lose my train of thought because it's so powerful on such a subconscious level, and on such a deep level, that my brain starts to glitch in the best way. And it's okay, because the thought will always come back to me because I'm starting to align with it. Even now, when I lose my memory of something, say I'm talking, I'm in a conversation, I lose my train of thought or I lose the thought, all I have to do now is be it'll come back. And I just literally start to, I literally make myself vibrate on the frequency of whatever the thought was, or even just the frequency of confidence in my memory, and it comes back. So I'm saying all of that to say, even talking about frequency and energy, it's even at my lowest, I was still vibrating there was still something within my frequency that was vibrating at the same level as somebody who wants to do music as a career, and somebody who's doing what they can to make that happen. Even at my lowest, even when I wasn't taking care of myself, even when I was in relationships that were depleting me, whether it was romantic or platonic, even if I was in toxic environments. Hold on. All right, so anyway, I had to turn my AC on, so to kind of keep some of the noise drowned out. But hopefully y'all can hear me clearly. I'm trusting that y'all can. But yeah, so even at my lowest, I was still who I am now. She was still there encouraging me to show up, even if how I was showing up wasn't what I feel like I want to be or what I feel like I can do now. You know what I'm saying? I was still showing up. And so it's just I'm not going to keep putting myself down. I'm not going to keep thinking about past versions of myself and being damn, especially when I always say everybody is doing the best with what they have in that moment. Even if they're consciously doing shitty, it's people always be well, better, do better. But it's and this is a whole nother podcast episode, but if people don't feel better, they can't do better. And that's just facts. Sometimes they can, and as they know better and do better, they start to feel better. But for some people, that equation doesn't go that way, or it doesn't happen in that order. So, it's just different for everybody. But anyway, as far as my career and as far as me, it's I'm done. I'm done not being able to really genuinely deeply in my heart take myself outside of myself and be yo, you're really great. That's something I'm more than capable of doing, and I'm going to start practicing, because it's I really do amazing things, and I feel I don't give myself credit because sometimes it's not where I want to be. It's not what I see for myself, but it's what I'm working towards. But it's you still did it though. You still showed up and you did amazing. And I think it takes the joy out of it sometimes when you're so focused on what you could have did. It's well, that's not what happened. This is what happened. This is great. This present moment, what you did with what you had is great. And I deserve to be able to celebrate that. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not going to allow those low vibrational energies to make me feel less than or, nothing like that. I'm going to allow myself to exist in my highest self. I'm going to allow myself to thrive within the unconditional love that I have for myself and the pride that I have within myself. I'm proud of myself. And I wrote a line earlier about that. God is proud of me. Who am I to sit here and pick myself apart when I can feel God literally smiling at me? I can feel it. Who am I to be nah, you tripping? I was shitty. Who am I to do that to myself and to God and to my ancestors? They're literally cheering me on, clapping, proud of me. And I'm sitting here oh, no, I could have did so much better. I did shitty or I fucked up. It's bro, why do that? So I'm not doing that. And I thought a lot tonight about I've been remembering how many years I gave to people who did not make me feel good about myself. And how many times I literally sacrificed my emotional and mental and spiritual and physical wellness to feel any small amount of what I was trying to translate into love from people who treated me shitty and people who didn't make me feel good. And it's I believe that as I'm stepping into myself and starting to love myself, I'm shedding some of that. I can feel some of that being released. like the thing, like just that energy of like how, you know, this just the energy of being in that, like the energy of those relationships and those occurrences, and, you know, like who I'm remembering myself to be now and the love I'm surrounding myself with now. It's like, man, I can feel those. It's hard to explain because I know what it sounds like I'm saying, but that's not what I'm saying. Because of course you could say like I'm starting to feel that trauma released, or I'm starting to feel myself grieve that, or I don't know, like, but what I'm trying to like put into English what I'm saying, because I can visualize it and I can feel it in my soul, but it's hard to like explain it without, like, it's hard because y'all not in my mind, and I'm finding it challenging. But like, it's almost like, let me take a deep breath. Yes, I can feel the reprogramming happening, and it's chipping away at certain energy. That's the best way I can put it. Like, that's the best way I could put it. I don't know how else to say that. And like I said, I know what it sounds like I'm saying, but I don't think what it sounds like I'm saying is matching up with what I'm trying to say. So I don't know, but all I know is that she was always here. And I've done so much greatness throughout these years, even feeling depleted, even feeling unhappy, unfulfilled, lost, afraid, deeply sad, angry, afraid, scared, insecure, unsecure. Like, even feeling all of those things, I still was doing music this whole time. So it's like, I can't even shit on myself. I literally can't. I can't even be like, you was wasting time and you wasn't like, nah. To some extent, I was always still making music. And even when I wasn't, that's what I wanted to say earlier. Even when I was not making music, I was working on myself. Always. Even when I wasn't making good decisions, I was working on myself. Through all of that, I was trying to remember how to love, trying to remember what love really felt like, trying to remember what it feels like to really give love from a space of wholeness, trying to remember all those things that I haven't tapped into truly, genuinely since I was a fucking child. Like, literally, since I was a child. Like, young, like, toddler. And expressing was easy, and who I was overstood and just poured out of me effortlessly. Like, you know, before the world or the negative or disharmonious or toxic energy in the world penetrated my spirit or penetrated my aura or penetrated my mind. Who I was before all of that. And I'm remembering what that is, who I am. And I'm connecting with that. I'm connecting with it. I'm connecting with myself at my core. I'm rebuilding that connection to my source and to source. And so with that, it's like, I can't disrespect those versions of myself. Like, I went through everything I went through, and yet at 23, I'm still here, still doing better, doing my best, making better decisions. I could have not. Could have gave up. Could have said, fuck it. You know, anything. But it's like, I'm still here. And all I desire to do is create, y'all. Like, that's really, I just want to make this music and give it to y'all. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do nothing else for real. Like, I do, but I'm saying, like, that's my grounding work. Like, that's the most important thing, is me making music and putting it out. Like, that's more important than that's more important than performing. That's more important than content creation. That's more important than networking. It's just more important. Like, getting this music done so y'all can hear what's on my heart and I can release it and put it out into the world and transmute it and support my life. That's the main thing. That's all I want to do, y'all. Like, I just want to write this music and I want to put it out. And that's what I'm going to do. Like I was saying downstairs earlier when I was talking to myself, like, yeah, I'm tired of giving so much of myself away to people just to be unfulfilled, just to be unhappy, just to genuinely not be okay and not be thriving. I'm tired. I was watching videos from like when I was in college, and I wound up capturing this conversation I was having with this guy who I was sleeping with at the time. And I was expressing in the video how I was just taking so much accountability and responsibility for the harm that I was being caused, and the habits, the bad habits that I was committed to, that were from a space of trauma that I did not inflict on myself. And I'm just looking at myself in the video like, God, like, I just wish I could protect you from this shit. Like, I wish I could tell you so many things. So many things. I wish I could tell you, one, stop talking. Don't say anything else. There's nothing that needs to be said. There's nothing else that needs to be said. Don't say nothing else. Like, I'm literally just watching a video like, yo, like, wow, that was your mindset. And I could see how that mindset played out still recently to recent relationships. Like, baby, that's not your fault. It's not your fault that you were not taught properly how to love in this world. Like, we come in this world already knowing how to love. But learning how to love in this world is a skill, because you come here with love, but you come here with the knowledge of how to love in this world, yes, in a way, but you don't come here automatically with the tools equipped as a child to deal with the immediate trauma that begins to happen in most of our lives. So you have to learn how to love in this world. Somebody has to teach you that. And baby, nobody taught you that. And that is not your fault. Like, it's not your fault. And so I wish I could just say, be quiet. Don't say anything else, because you're taking responsibility for shit that's not your fault. And a person you're talking to does not deserve to hear it. And in my mind right now, I'm thinking about so many times I could say that about conversations I've had with people, where I was saying how I felt, or I was showing the way I think to somebody that literally set me up to be more hurt. Because now you see how I'm thinking, and you see how I'm sabotaging myself, or I don't know why deprecating. I don't know. I forget what that means coming to my mind. But like self-deprecating, or like, you know, low-key tearing yourself down and calling it empathy. Low-key teaching somebody how to disrespect you and calling it forgiveness. Because that's how you were taught how to love. And that's not love. Not even close. But you know what is love? That's love to the extent of vulnerability and being yourself. Loving yourself enough to be vulnerable, even if it's in this incorrect way. We're all doing the best we have. We're all doing the best we can with what we have, right? But love at this point in my life is realizing that shit and consciously and intentionally choosing not to do that shit again. And knowing better and doing whatever I can to feel better so that I can continue to do better. Because that's the formula. That's the one that works for me. And in conclusion, if I could tell myself anything in this moment, it would be save your words for yourself and your music. And I'm not trying to say that, y'all, in a way that's like, I'm telling y'all don't talk about your feelings and shit like that. Like, that's not what I mean. I mean, all that energy you spent talking, over explaining, and trying to figure out how to make things your fault subconsciously and giving people the textbook on how to manipulate. And instead of looking at it from a space of feeling powerless or feeling angry or upset or grievance about that, take all the energy of those words and put it into your music in the most healing, positive, blossoming, growth, intelligent, mastermind, genius, brilliant, superstar way possible. Like, you're upset about teaching somebody how to manipulate you, then make a song about understanding who you are and being able to articulate that, being able to reflect that, being able to walk in that, so that when people come around you, they don't even stand a chance in doing that shit. If you're upset about all the times you wasted, quote unquote, wasted your breath, now in your music is an opportunity to use it for something. And use it for something good. Use it for something healing. Use it for something that pours love into you. If you're upset about all the times you feel like you gave or received love incorrectly. Which, side note, is all trial and error. It's all a part of the journey. I'm very aware of that. But yeah, show yourself that you're abundant in love and you lost nothing. Show me that. I want to see it. Show me how abundant you are in love. Make the music. No distractions, no extra shit, no bullshit. Just make the music. And make it love. Because the love in me is infinite. And so I want to see reflections of that in your gift, in your passion. So that whenever you think about all the times you gave that shit away undeservingly, or you fumbled the bag trying to learn how to do it, or whatever it is around that, so that energy is transmuted. And so that, yeah, like I said, when you look back, it doesn't feel like a loss, doesn't feel like a grievance. It's not something that upsets you. It's something you're grateful for, because look at what you made because of that. I appreciate y'all for listening to this and listening to me, listening to this message, this upload, listening to me. And yeah, I definitely am aware that this is a Monday meditative experience. So let's add a little bit of grounding to this. If this resonated with you and you made it this far, we're going to take just a second to go deeper with our breath and make sure that any negative or disharmonious or toxic, weird energy that might have tried to sneak up in this message, or, you know, has been trying to stick with you, whether it's from the week or the weekend or, you know, in this moment, whatever it is, we're going to take a cleansing and grounding breath, cleansing ourselves of that energy and grounding ourselves in the unconditional, limitless love that is always abundantly in us and reflected to us in a infinite amount of ways. So together, let's take a deep breath in and exhale. Take a deep breath in. Breathe in that love. Exhale the disharmonious energy. Again, breathe in that love. Exhale any leftover disharmonious energy. One more time. Breathe in that love. Exhale any extra disharmonious energy. When you're ready, repeat after me. We're going to end this off with some affirmations. I trust who I am. I know who I am. My highest self is my present self. My highest self was my past self. And my highest self will be my future self. My higher self is always there and has always been there. Who I'm becoming and creating myself to be is who I always was. Let's do that one again. Who I am becoming and creating myself to be is who I always was. This energy of unconditional self-love been a thing. I honor that I was always doing my best, even when it looked like or felt like I was doing my worst. I release all attachment to self-deprecating thoughts. I welcome in a new programming of unconditional self-love. I welcome in a new programming of unconditional self-love. I welcome in a new programming of being my biggest cheerleader and encouragement. I inspire myself. I empower myself. I respect myself. I honor myself so deeply. I love who I am. I love my life. I love who I'm becoming. I love what I'm doing. I love the work I do. I love the things I create. I love the energy I attract. I am grateful for this moment. I'm grateful for all who I was and all who I am. And I'm grateful for what's to come. I'm excited for the many gifts from God that I will experience. I am unstoppable. I am unbreakable. I am fireproof and strong beyond what I can even fathom. And I'm done playing fucking games. I ain't playing no fucking games no more, period. Only up from here, period. Turn that shit up, period. Alright, but nah, real shit though. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and listening. And I pray that this served you in the most beautiful way for your highest good. Enjoy the rest of your night or day or afternoon, whatever point you listening to this. And I try, I do my best to commit to giving y'all some love and some beautiful things, beautiful energy every Monday. This is a Monday Meditative Experience. And my name is Imani the Superstar. You can find me on Instagram at Imani the Superstar. You can find this podcast at the Butterfly Experience Podcast on Instagram. And I just appreciate all the support and all the love. If you would like to tune into my music, please go purchase my song Dear Fear on Bandcamp. The link is in at Imani the Superstar's bio. My website is also coming soon, y'all, and the Butterfly Experience Podcast will be on it. So just stay tuned for all the great, beautiful, amazing things. I appreciate y'all, and have a good night. Well, I'm at nighttime. I'm filming this at like 2 a.m. Let me take my ass to bed. Fly, butterflies. I love y'all.